Social Psychology, Week 8. We're at the midpoint, y'all. Hi, class. It's Wednesday. Our week started on Monday, but the test was still open and it didn't close until yesterday. So I decided to wait until today to make this post. All right, this very brief slideshow is going to go over 3 things. First, I'm going to talk a little bit about the midpoint, so a recap of the topics and the points that we've accumulated so far. Then I'll talk about Test 1 results, and finally, I'll introduce what's next. Okay, so on this slide, you'll see a chart that was available in the Week 7 agenda. Those of you that are watching this video, thank you. Those of you who read the agenda from Week 7, awesome. Those of you who are ignoring the agendas that I create, just know that I'm rolling my eyes. When you ask me a question that's in the agenda, I'm like, really? But anyway, I make these agendas for you guys and the videos, so I'm trying to help you out. If you'll leave a comment or you'll like it or you'll send me an email, then I'll know whether or not they're helpful and useful. In some of the other classes, I do more videos, so I'm going to start doing videos for our class since it seems to be helping some of the students in the other class. Anyway, in week 1, you did 2 things. First, you introduced yourself to me and your fellow class members, and you also responded to 2 class members. You earned 5 points for that. The second thing you did was you read the course syllabus and you completed a syllabus quiz. This was worth 5 points, so you earned a total of 10 points for the first week. In weeks 2 and 3, you had 2 discussions, and each discussion was worth 10 points, so that was 20 points that you could have earned. And so by the end of week 3, you were up to 30 points. Now, some of you may have been wondering why you were marked off if you didn't get full credit for the discussion. There's a few reasons why you might have been marked off. If you gave me a janky response, you got a janky answer. No, really. If your post was substantive, then you got full credit for the initial part, but you also needed to respond to 2 peers in a way that was also substantive, and that's how you get your full credit. So what I mean by substantive is that you are sharing what you know and going beyond just your personal thoughts and opinions. You're incorporating information from the textbook or from the video. You're making the discussion post something that is educational or informative. And when you respond to your peers, you should address them by name and you should sign your post. But you want to go more, you want to go beyond just saying I agree or I disagree. All right. You want to share something novel, something new. All right. In week 4, you didn't have to participate in a discussion with the entire class, but you had an opportunity to create a group charter with your fellow group members that you were assigned to work on the group project. Now, this charter didn't yield any points, but it was a great way to kind of let your group members know what you were thinking about in terms of your topic and what strengths you were bringing to the table. In weeks 5 and 6, again, you had 2 more discussions, and each discussion was worth 10 points. And so by the end of week 6, you were up to 50 points in our class. This last week that just passed, you had an opportunity to complete the first test in the class, and the test was over chapters 1 through 4, and you completed it via honor lock. And that test was worth 100 points. The test was supposed to close on Sunday, but I posted it 1 day later, so I allowed it to stay open until Tuesday. And that's why I'm just, sharing the results today because it closed last night at 11:59 p.m. So right now we're at 150 points that you could have earned in the class. And if you want to know exactly where you stand, you can take the total points that you earn and divide it by 150 and then multiply that by 100 and it'll give you a percentage. In the week 7 agenda, I also created a chart and it shows you the breakdown in points of what you need to be sitting at an A, B, C, or below in the class. Test 1. So as I said, test 1 was worth 100 points, and we had 6 students to earn an A, 8 students to earn a B, 5 students to earn a C, 3 students who got a D, and 2 students who needed improvement. There were also 9 students who missed the test. Of those 9 students who missed the test, a couple of the students have actually dropped the class, but that means there's at least 7 students who missed the first test. If you missed the first test, don't worry. Just make sure you stay caught up on your reading, because we will have an alternate test, a cumulative test, toward the end of the term that you can take, and it will be it will sub in for your 0 that you have currently with whatever you earn on that alternate test. Now, these scores that are listed here on the screen include the score after the extra credit has been calculated. So we had about 17 or 18 students who completed the extra credit, and most students got between 8 points and 10 points on the extra credit, so that those points were added directly to your test. If you're wondering whether your score was adjusted or not, you can just click on the drop down arrow in Canvas, click on your score, and then click on the drop down arrow to see the notes, because I left a note and the note would say +10 or +9, you know, for the extra credit. I also included your original score so you could double check my math. So again, test 1 was the first of 3 tests, so you'll have other chances to show what you know. If you have questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to email me so that we can get together during office hours and I can go over the questions that you missed if you're not sure why you scored the way you did. More than likely, prior to the cumulative test, I will have I'll make a short video where I highlight the most frequently missed questions in our class, the content of those questions. The group project. So the group project technically was supposed to be turned in this coming Sunday, but I'm going to move the due date to Monday to give you guys just one extra day. So the project should be turned in on Monday, March 1st by 11:59 p.m. Only one member needs to turn in the project, but if you want to have more than one member submit it, that's fine too. You will earn up to 100 points for completing this first project. The grading criteria is listed here on the screen. As you can see, the content makes up the bulk of the points that you'll earn. And for content, I'm looking at the information that you're sharing. How thoroughly did you research your topic? Make sure you narrowed your topic down so that when you discuss it thoroughly, you're able to do so. If you have a very broad topic, it's going to be hard to give worthwhile information for the sake of this research project. For clarity, you can get up to 20 points. And I'm looking at how the project is structured. If you give me a slideshow, is it flowing smoothly? Do you have just a few words on the slides and the majority of your information is in the speaker's notes, or do you have voiceover? Do you have images, and is there white space on your screen? You know, you want to have a good balance of words and blank space, or pictures and words. You don't want it to be excessively cluttered. All right. For originality, I'm looking at, did you include any videos? Did you talk about how the information was applicable in everyday life? Why this information was useful for a social psychology class? You know, how creative were you, basically? And the application goes specifically to the relevance of what you researched. If you talked about something that was completely bizarre and I don't see why you decided to share that information, you wouldn't get as much credit as if you make the information relevant. Remember, your fellow class members will get to see your group project. Once all the projects are turned in, I'll make a folder and then I will make them visible to the entire class, and the class will actually have an opportunity to comment on each other's group projects. All right, so next we have teamwork. And for teamwork, I'm trying to see what you guys say about each other behind the scenes. So you'll have an option or an opportunity to tell me behind the scenes how everybody worked together. And if everyone says that you all chipped in, then you all get the same score. But if it turns out that some members are you know, noted as being more cooperative than others or less cooperative than others, then the scores will reflect that difference in effort. So teamwork is, did everybody, you know, contribute? And then finally, the overall quality, you know, from the start to the finish, what is the overall product that you produced? And that is worth 10 points. So there's a chart available in our module titled Group Project. That's the title of the module. And it has the rubric, this very rubric, and it's broken down with questions that you can ask yourself. And it also has tips on what you should and shouldn't do. So I really encourage you to take a look at that rubric and make sure you are on the right page before you turn in your final draft. So what's coming up next? So we basically have 2 weeks until spring break. So next week, obviously you'll turn in your group project and then you'll have a discussion. Our topic will be genes, culture, and gender. And then in the following week, you'll have a discussion and the topic will be conformity and obedience. So you can go ahead and start reading these chapters or browsing these chapters if you want to get a head start. But if not, that's fine too. We have spring break from March 15th to 21st, so I won't be online. I'll be, on a break. Okay, so we have 2 group projects in this class. I want to be clear. This first group project is the one that you're turning in on Monday, but we have another one that comes up at the end of the term. So in social psych, we do 2 group projects. In my general psych and human growth and development, we do 1 project. Some of you ask me questions, and based on the questions that you're asking, I know that you haven't read the announcements and you're not looking at the agendas that I create. I do these for your benefit, so it will be to your advantage to read the announcement, at least check it at least once a week, and to also review the agendas. If you've missed previous agendas, they're all available. There's a section in our virtual classroom on Canvas where they're housed. So you'll see where it says past agendas. All right, and then some other comments I want to make. If you're participating in the discussion board in a substantive way, that's awesome. Thank you so much. If you aren't, please start doing that. The whole purpose of sharing ideas is to, make this an informative, educational experience. So it is necessary for you to incorporate things that you've gathered from reliable and valid sources. And if you don't do that, you won't get full credit. And also, you just won't learn as much. All right, so if you've missed some assignments or you have late work, the late assignment policy is listed in the course syllabus, and also the makeup policy. As I said, if you missed test 1, you can take the makeup at the end, so you really shouldn't be too stressed out. If you need to contact me, the best way to contact me is via email at simsatcf.edu. And if you have a question that applies to the entire class, please post it to the questions thread, and so that either I can respond to you or one of your fellow class members can respond to you. And I check the discussions thread once or twice a day, Monday through Friday. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. That's all, folks. See you on the discussion board.